Hello everyone, and welcome to Let's Play Bloodnet. Yeah, so this is going to be a new LP, it's an adventure RPG hybrid. It was based on a suggestion given by a viewer, DBR Knight, and here is the introduction. I'll just go really quickly into it. I just read this. On a cold evening in Manhattan, you relax in your favorite bar, the Abyss. As you order another round, you notice a striking exotic woman staring at you from across the room. Still staring, she walks toward you and makes her offer. Pretty forward. Okay. Yeah, as you would see, or rather hear, the soundtrack is rather striking. Yeah, and you're going to hear a lot of this soundtrack. Hope you like it.
Looking for me?
Maybe. I thought I could find someone like you in a place like this.
My lucky day. The name's Ransom Stark.
I know. I've heard of you. Looks like clients aren't exactly beating down your door, Stark. I'm here to make you an offer. Pays 50 grand. Interested?
For 50 grand? There isn't much I wouldn't do for 50 grand.
I'm not interested in your personal life, Stark. What I want is some business taken care of. A man named Clayton McRae with the Trans-Tech Cyber Bureau is making my life very difficult. My father and I have indulged in a few business practices that conflict with the company's policies, and aren't going to sit well with the Judgment Committee. I want the records of them wiped off the disks, or McRae convinced that I'm not worth investigating, ever. I don't care how you do it. Just do it and you'll get paid. Agreed?
Are you part of the deal?
Just do what you're hired to do, Stark. You'll get your money, then we'll talk.
Where do I find you?
Uptown at 666 West 125th Street, the penthouse. I'll be waiting.
Very edgy address line there. Okay, because you are a professional, the job takes only a few days. You transfer the information to Ben Helsing and take the subway to his penthouse. To his penthouse, I thought it was her penthouse. Oh, anyway, to collect your payment. Why do you need to go there? Just wire the money to you or something, I don't know. Yeah, so solving of this little task that she gives out for Ransom to do is just no gameplay involved, just part of the narrative.
I'm here for my 50 grand.
You work fast.
Not too fast. I get the job done. Now I'm here to collect.
Relax. You'll get what's coming to you.
Oh boy.
That's what I'm counting on.
You've got a real attitude, Stark. Too bad we hadn't met under different circumstances. I'm not usually one to go for low-rent mercenary types.
Don't knock it till you've tried it. Besides, you're not exactly standard issue. What's your story anyway? You come out of nowhere with the most unusual, captivating looks I've ever seen on anyone. Then offer me a fortune for a job I could do in my sleep. I couldn't wait to get up here to see you again. You're like no woman I've ever met. I'm not sure I like what you're doing to me.
Don't knock it until you've tried it, Stark. Come here.
You read my mind.
Speaking of mind, what is this thing that's sticking out of the back of your head?
Doesn't make sense.
You have a neural implant, Stark?
Yeah, a woman pulled me out of the gutter and saved my life with that thing.
Another woman, Stark? I'm almost jealous.
She was a friend. A good friend. I haven't even talked to Tackett in years. Heard she was somewhere in the Greenwich Village Warrens. I should look her up.
Why do you tell everything about her.
I wouldn't even be here if it wasn't
I don't
for
know
her.
why he revealing all this
How
information.
true, but let's forget about her. One woman saved you, Stark, and now one's going to damn you.
Oh boy.
My way is a lot more fun.
Well, we'll see about that.
Talk to me, Stark. I want to know everything about you.
Isn't the music grating to you? I'm not so sure, but it's... Yeah. Oh my goodness, what's in the back with glowing red eyes and a cape? What could that be? Okay. Yeah, slowly walking towards Stark. Nice stride.
That will be enough, Melissa. You can amuse yourself with him later. I am Abraham Van Helsing. You work for me now, Stark.
I'm not on your payroll anymore, Pop, so don't start throwing your weight around.
You do not yet see the seriousness of your position. You shall.
Nah, I think I'll be seeing the door, Daddy.
No, Stark. You will not leave this room until I have tasted of you.
What are you? Your eyes. So intense.
Oh.
You have given me what I need.
Intense.
The address of Deirdre Tackett. My vampires and I have tracked dozens of former TransTech employees who might have known where Tackett was hiding herself.
I guess he cannot run or move.
At last we found you. Your time as my minion has just begun. Come to me, Stark. Feel my mouth on your neck.
I'd rather not.
For your services to me, I give you life eternal, undeath without end.
I guess it's better than mouth on lips. So that's... My goodness. He kind of looks different from the profile picture though. Oh my gosh, yeah, Ransom has been beaten. And he's really psyched about this all. Yeah, I'm sure it's pretty painful. But I've been kissed by a man, no! I'm sorry. Yeah, so this is how you become a vampire, and then transformation is pretty quick. Alright, so untold hours after Van Helsing's attack, you awaken dazed and racked, with pain in a surreal tomb-like chamber. It is a tomb, no doubt about it. Yeah, a bit of a different soundtrack now playing, kind of a, I don't know, jazzy. Yeah, I don't mind this song. The other song was pretty grating, to be honest with you, but... okay, see the chamber here. See if Ransom can deal with this. Yeah, interesting.
What have I become? What have you done to me?
You are one of us now, Stark. A vampire, a hunter of men.
Well, hunter women.
And because you are of my creation, you are under my command.
But why?
I can use a freelance with your talents in my cadre of Night Stalkers. When we have captured Tackett and taken from her the information that we need, I will be but one step from attaining power over Manhattan, cyberspace, and beyond. I shall control the Earth's computers. I shall have power without
Control the
limit.
computers have unlimited power.
And I'm gonna help you.
You already have. Giving me Tackett is like handing over Incubus, the ultimate icebreaker, to me. Come. You have much to learn. You must be weak after what you've endured. Let us venture outside and select your dinner.
Sorry, Abe. After-death experiences always turn my stomach. I ain't hungry.
Wow. Man, the vampire's strength. Your sudden blow stuns the vampire lord, allowing you to make a mad dash from the penthouse to the street. Not pausing to catch your breath, you run to the subway, desperate to reach Tackett's laboratory before it's too late. Yeah, I guess he revealed the information before, so he's not going to lead anybody to the laboratory. Yeah, I wonder why he revealed the information so readily. Maybe that Melissa, the woman vampire, put a spell on him or something. I mean, yeah. So...
What has happened?
Oh, this music again.
The situation is untenable, Stark. Power drain is immense. Perceptual filters and personality stabilizers processing at maximum capacity to neutralize unbelievably alien inputs. I repeat, what is happening? I think I'm dying, Implant. The old guy is a vampire. He tried to transform me into one. He expected to control me, but I'm still in charge, I think. I feel both awful and great. My whole body aches, but I feel strong enough to kick through a wall. Oh, God. Look at my flesh. My mouth aches. My teeth are sharper. I think I have fangs. Get a grip on yourself, Ransom. Current inputs are confusing enough. I need less babble from you and more analysis. I'm doing my best here. It's not every day somebody bites my neck open and sucks on my arteries. Analysis? I've become a vampire, it seems. Except, for some reason, I'm able to resist Van Helsing's domination. Maybe you have something to do with that. Assuredly, Ransom. Van Helsing's attack almost fried me. And I've been working double time to counter the vampiric elements that Van Helsing introduced into your identity matrix. I have managed to slow the rate at which you're becoming a vampire, but, as I mentioned, the drain on me is considerable. I compute that at present outlays, I will cease to function in days, and you will irrevocably become a vampire. You're saying I'm not damned yet? There's still hope? My presence has helped you maintain a grip on your humanity. You are, for the most part, a vampire, but I think that state is still reversible. I haven't the slightest idea how you reverse your condition, but theoretically it's possible. You might try accessing the well where Deirdre keeps her text files. Perhaps she is involved with the vampires in some way. The well was at the address Hope. I assume it is still there unless she has changed it. You might also review the notes you keep in your handheld computer. You could use some help.
Okay. Is this it? Oh boy. Man. I guess if I were to start this LP, I probably would need to do this. Oh, then what's the fun in that? Let's turn it on. At least this music's not too bad. Yeah, but the music in the intro, my goodness, what was that? Like ping pong, ping pong. I don't know. Wow, it was grating, but yeah, I mean that was a pretty involved introduction. No late title card, so well, you know that this game is from the early 90s. I think it was released in 93 or 94. Maybe it was early 94. Yeah, and then I did a bit of research on this game before jumping into it. I just wanted to know a bit more about this game, and from what I was able to find, this game is a rather polarizing game. A lot of people like this game for its atmosphere and for its themes. Cyberpunk and, well, you know, vampire. Kind of unique combination, so it's rather refreshing setting, to be sure. But then this game is kind of dragged down by its unintuitive UI, certain gameplay mechanics, and well, I mean, we get to see some of that, of course. I did manage to try this game out for around 30 minutes or so, just to get myself a bit familiar with the controls and the interface and whatnot. Yeah, and then it takes some time getting used to, but it's not too bad, although I haven't really sunk my fangs into more meatier aspect of this game. Sorry about the pun, but yeah, I didn't really try to do much combat or go into cyberspace, and you can do all of that. So you know, this game, despite being around 20 megabytes, seems to offer you a lot. So we have to get ourselves a character here. As you can see, you can do either manual generation or quick generation. Manual generation, I think, asks you a set of questions, and it, depending on the answers, it kind of gives you the character based on your answers. And then you can change and modify the stats a bit more after that. So let's go into it. And I don't know what this sound effect means, but I guess it's supposed to sound cool or something. Yeah, and there are a lot of questions that are different every time I do generation, so even, you know, character generation itself is kind of new or kind of different every time. Alright, so I guess I read this. After programming a security system for a local pawn shop, the owner says he's short on cash and can only reimburse you in trade. You're angry, of course, but if you can't have cash you'd prefer to have. And before I go and delve into this questionnaire, I like to create a character that tests the limit of this game. You know, and then I have a bit of an inkling of what type of character would be more successful in this game. I'll probably explain a bit later after the character generation is done, but for now I just try to answer as honest as possible depending on, you know, how I want to play the game and how I envision, you know, this Stark guy who has already done a job for a vampire, going into cyberspace and done a pretty good job as a professional, should be like. So here's the answers. The sinusoidal pulse gun you have your eye on. Okay, so that basically gives you an idea that a particular answer is going to lead to Tackett's preference toward guns. A top-of-the-line decoder giving you quick entry to most of the common security systems in the city. Upgrade to your decking unit allowing you to remain in the net longer. Well, this seems pretty cool. He's a hacker, so to speak. You score a hot program for the Midtown Mafia, but the snakes pay you only half of what they promised. Why is it about Stark and not getting the money he's owed to? And they have the nerve to smile about it. You smile back, but no one stiffs Ransom Stark and gets away with it. In retaliation, you begin to leave, then pull a concealed laser pistol from the inside of your sleeve and fire away. Wait, then break into their headquarters in the abandoned Trump Tower. Oh my goodness, relevant. After 13 years later. Steal back the program and sell it to a rival family. So obviously Mafia has taken control of the Trump Tower. Interesting. Alright, so steal their program. Wait, then on your system at home, hack around for their financial accounts at various institutions and start creating insufficient funds. Well, okay. Alright, let's choose this since more elegant solution for ransom. You always said that computer games were more fun when you were a kid. Sure, they were simpler, even crude, but you'd often spend your last $10 to play your favorite. Yeah, this is rather appropriate for the kind of game I'm playing right now. I won't say this game is simple or even crude, but oh, maybe crude in certain aspects, but yeah, okay, so definitely I did spend a bit less than $10 to buy this game, but I think it's well worth it. Right, the answers. The Virtual Spy, which allowed you to engage in adventures of espionage and national security. Annual game for a few rounds. You then attempt to bust into a machine and score the tokens stored inside. Matrix Master, which allowed you to explore a simulation of the not fully designed cyberspace. This seems pretty cool. Is there any more options? No, that's it. Okay, this seems pretty cool. Yeah, what's with this sound effect? Some years ago, you were released from your job as a human presence sentry in cyberspace for trans-technicals because of illness caused by extended exposure to cyberspace. Now this is true. Ransom Stark was suffering from some kind of syndrome from having been exposed to whatever effect, side effect, that is caused by, I guess, prolonged connection to the cyberspace. So he was let go from the trans technicals, and since he couldn't, back into cyberspace again, he was kind of a wreck of a human being. Before he was rescued by this character that we know, Tackett. I don't know what her first name is, maybe Elizabeth Tackett, who installed the neural implant to the back of Stark's head. So she's not only an ingenious inventor of implants, but she can also do some surgery, seems like. And Tackett was able to resume his work as a so-called hacker. But now, instead of working for trans technicals, he's actively working against it, stealing information and whatnot. So, after having suffered from this syndrome and let go from the company he worked for years, he used what savings you had to purchase a shotgun, undershaft laser assault rifle, and a Kevlar jacket and began a career as a mercenary. Obviously, it's not what happened, although that's a valid choice as any. Well, hired by Deidre Tackett, sorry, her name was Deidre, not Elizabeth, to scrounge computer components in support of her underground activities. Began searching through the huge scrapyards in Hoboken, New Jersey, for salvageable machinery and computer components. Alright, fourth choice. Partnered with the Flux Riders for the Praxis 2300 Elite Model backing unit and began surfing the network in search of profit. Yeah, I think this is what happens, so I choose this. A wealthy cybergenetic surgeon who specializes in cybersexual and cosmetic enhancement for an exclusive client has hired you to acquire a LiPo 2200, a valuable, difficult to obtain surgical device. One of our competitors has the machine. You rig the rival surgeon's office security code while you are forced to wait in one of his examination rooms, then return at night to snag the machine. Right, so you got yourself a LiPo? I don't think so. Ask the rival surgeon for the LiPo 2200 promo holo video and figure out how to assemble one yourself. Wow. It's a crafty one. Persuade a disgruntled and underpaid nurse of the rival surgeon to give you the office security code. Exchange for money and the promise of her boss's humiliation. Rig the rival surgeon's office security code. I think this is more like it. During a heist at the Met, that's I think Metropolitan Museum in New York, I think, or I'm not so sure, Opera House. You and your associate left some evidence that was traced back to you. Now, your mug is all over the news. The group thinks you should all lay low for a while. You keep the group in Manhattan until it blows over, staying in Barry's hideout you've maintained throughout the city just for this kind of thing. Okay. Break away alone and go into hiding out of state. Pay off the accusers before the investigation gets too far along. Decide that sneaking around would be an admission of guilt. Instead, you alert the news and start a media circus in which you claim the charges against you are discriminatory. Yeah, okay. Seems the most pedestrian choice, but more sensible or more likely scenario. A group of teenage ragamuffins. Do they still call teenage ragamuffins in like 2100 or 22nd century? Calling themselves the Skulks, have been indiscriminately and recklessly stealing hardware, software, and narcotics throughout the west side of Manhattan. Sooner or later they are certain to be caught. You gotta deal with the authorities whereby you tip them to the Skulks activities in exchange for a modest reward and your choice of selected items from the Skulls booty. You're part of the Skulls? How are you related to these teenage ragamuffins? I'm not so sure. Instruct them in the art of the con so they might earn money in ways other than outright theft. Wait. I don't know what's better. Offer to act as their leader and protector in exchange for first rights to anything they scrounge or steal. Take the Skulls under your tutelage and instruct them in the ways of a patient practiced scrounger, making them less likely to be arrested. Well, I don't know. Well, patient Practice scrounger. What's the best option to this problem? I don't really find any of these choices preferable. Yeah, I guess I choose to not sell them out, but try to teach them to be more discreet, to create less collateral damage. You suspect that someone has discovered one of the stashes where you store items you have scrounged to protect the result of your labors. Now this is the question that also came up the first time I tried this, and I think the questions are rotated somehow, but yeah, it's pretty interesting how often these kind of questions crop up and how many questions are there. Pretty interesting. Ring the location with tripwire alarms and a camera so that you can be alerted should someone violate the stash. Move the stash to a more secure location. Keep watch over the stash. Should someone approach and take an item, secretly follow them to their destination to learn if they possess the other missing items, then confront the person. Surveillance. I like that. Let's choose this. Hackers are being busted all across the city as part of Trans-Technical's cyber crackdown. You have been accused of countless crimes, so you immediately contact the press and start a media circus. Okay. Now, Trans-Tech is the big information technology conglomerate that has dominated, I guess, the entirety of the world. You can think Trans-Tech has Google 50 years later. Hack into Trans-Tech security through a friend's computer and limit advance against you. Cool. Pay off the judge. Okay. Contact the press and start a media circus. Okay, so I think the second option, which is hacking into computer and fighting on their own turf and persevering through all this ordeal, might be the best option. Or ideal. While on the net, you check into Trans-Technical's notional labs. You discover chips that can be added to a decker's consciousness, enhancing skills. You only have enough room in your decking unit to take one chip back with you. You choose the language chip. You'll be multilingual and able to work deals with virtually anyone in New York. A chip that enhances your senses, increasing your observation and reflexes. A chip that enhances your decking integrity, allowing you to stay in the net as long as you want, without fear of your consciousness breaking up. A chip with a function you are unsure of. It is labeled simply for level 1 clearance, personal only. Level 1 clearance being the highest level? I'm not so sure exactly what this would do, but... well, I mean, you know... you just may be able to attain a higher level of consciousness, or maybe you would die, but you're a vampire anyway, so, you know, I don't know what that has to do with anything, but let's just review the choices that I have. Okay, level 1 clearance, I guess, yeah, I just choose this just for sake of maybe making a unique character. You've always told yourself that if you knew you were about to be busted for your litany of hacking crimes, you would orchestrate your own death. Give yourself a new identity and start another career. You always plan to go about it by staging a violent death for yourself. Complete signs of a bloody struggle. My goodness, someone has to pay for this. Making sure you never been existed, erasing all records bearing your name. When your work is done, no one will have proof that you're ever alive. Cool. No need to even read the third choice. A friend who exposed forbidden areas of Trans-Tech cyberspace has been snared in a data cage. Wow. And data cage is where I think if you get caught by a Trans-Tech security, as your friend here has been, you're trapped. Your consciousness is trapped in a cage where I guess you have to force to give up whatever you have gotten in the cyberspace and kick unceremoniously out. But in this case, her body hooked up to her decking unit will rot, while her consciousness remains locked in cyberspace. I mean, I guess, yeah, she has to eat and do all her bodily stuff while still being connected. So yeah, of course she'll die. Keeping her own life support is expensive. To help, you attempt to cloak yourself in the net to approach and release her, even though it means risking your own safety. Realize that she simply took the gamble that all deckers take and lost. It's now up to the rest of you to pick up the pieces. I don't think that's what Ransom Stark is all about. Track down the security watchdog who caught her and persuade him through bribery and intimidation to release your friend. Hack into her family's financial records and give them the means to support her until you can find a way to free her. Well, this is more like Ransom Stark's way of doing things, right? Well, okay. I think that's more like, yeah, I mean, that's probably about what Ransom Stark would have done, what I envision him to be, the ideal backer, the proud and loyal friend. Alright, so here we have Ransom Stark. This is the character portrait that I used the first time I played this. Yeah. Unfortunately, no female characters. I would have been interested maybe in playing a female decker. But the story is set. If I wanted to play a female vampire, maybe I go for Blood Rain or something. Yeah, but here are the portraits. Strength 50, obviously I did choose the answers to the questionnaire along the lines of Ransom being able to, deck into the net pretty well and do his business there without any problems. All the while dodging the trans-technical security and other, bad stuff that goes on there. Yeah, Stealth 88, wow, cool. Maybe if I can make use of this after all. Very nice. And combat, he kind of suffers, yeah, definitely. Suffers a lot from combat. So I guess he'll probably stay in the back while the rest of whoever he's able to convince to join him will be doing all the work. Alright, so intelligence. Yeah, it seems like even though I chose the characters based on, cyber skill specialty, the hacking and all these other stats leave a whole lot to be desired. I wonder why. Maybe the answers themselves do not really have to do anything with cyber skills or cyberspace. Yeah, and this is where I do believe that this primary adventure game do have RPG ambitions, aspirations, because of all these stats that play into the gameplay and how they will be reflected in what I do and what Ransom Stark is going to experience during his adventure in Manhattan. I'm not so sure how they're going to be manifest, but yeah, there are a lot of different numbers, a lot of different skills, and I did check the manual for explanation. I think in most cases these skills do relate to one particular gameplay mechanic. So strength, I think it just gives you combat ability. Endurance, same. Agility, yeah, it's probably the same combat related skill. So all the physical skills are combat related basically, except for pickpocket and maybe stealth. I'm not so sure when stealth has any use outside of combat. And you see the combat skills here, and then yeah, definitely combat related. Firearms, high tech, biotech, blaze, explosives, yeah, definitely. Personality also kind of feeds into the combat element of the game. So leadership basically allows you or the opponent to be able to place units first. Maybe you get to have a go at your opponent during combat. And that's it. Innocence is... Oh, okay, so this innocence actually allows you to... I'm sorry, let me just think about what innocence meant. Innocence is related to the humanity of this character. In this game, and I think I explained further, allows you to bite other people to be able to satiate your vampire side, although you have not turned into a full vampire. Innocence kind of allows you to bite more people without suffering penalties as much. And the penalty is that you lose something called humanity. And there's a number associated, of course, and then it goes to 0, then it's going to be game over. Faith has to do with, and you have a low faith, regardless of what kind of options you choose. Ransom Stark is not a faithful man. But then faith, it allows you to attack other vampires. So another combat skill. Courage. I think this has to do with whether the opponent is more likely to retreat during combat. So under combat skill, will, bribery, I'm sure that these are bribery is not combat skill obviously, but will probably is another combat skill or combat related skill. Mental, fast talk, observation, bargaining is, I think, has more to do with how you interact with the surroundings. Jury rig, well, jury rig allows you to craft certain weapons or items in the game by breaking down other items into components and then making something new out of it. Medicinal, healing ability, lockpick, yeah. So as I explained, most of these skills and numbers are related to combat from what I have experienced so far in this game. And I don't know whether you'll be going to combat a lot. I think you will do it because it's a significant part of the game. But then I don't know what else is there for Ransom Stark to, I don't know, make changes to the world or surroundings. We'll see, because I haven't really delved deeply into the game. But I'm not really that happy about how this skill set has gone through. Maybe I should just show you this and go back and then do a quick generation, because I thought that, seriously, I thought that I get at least 60 or 70 hacking and decking integrity because of the choices that I made, but this game doesn't think that I answered to that effect. Maybe I just play and then just go along with the game. I don't know. Maybe I just do that. And here's Ransom, and he has made it to Tackett laboratory, it seems. Right, so using the mouse and pressing down the left button, you'll be able to just travel around the surroundings and walk around it. Yeah, and then really this has like adventure game aspirations, gameplay. You know, I think this is based out of those old, I don't know what other adventure games Microprose has released, but I think it definitely shares a lot of similarities. Ransom doesn't have to even walk to this point or area to pick up the object here. And he can just drop it, yeah, near him. I mean, he can just pick up these items anywhere on the screen, but he can only drop it near him. No, I think you can drop anywhere you prefer. Yeah, he can throw it, I think. Yeah, I guess this means that he can throw it across the room or this table. He can put this thing in the giant chair here that Tackett used to sit. Maybe she was a giant, a very tall person. Yeah, okay, so this is the main game screen. And if you but with your mouse up, then here is that big interface that people have problems with. Now this green bar is, I think, his humanity. So as you can see, this is getting a bit of a frayed effect going on. So I think this is going to turn red as the time runs out. And the time runs out, I think, whenever you leave the screen of a place. And this is 12:01 AM. Time doesn't seem to flow while you're trying to explore within the screen itself. Now this option is combat, so you can do quick, which allows you to just let the combat finish by itself using the RNG. And descriptive, I guess, is descriptive. What are you going to do? Fight yourself? Descriptive is where you can enter combat, then control the characters yourself, and it's a turn-based combat. And bite. You have to go into combat to be able to bite someone, and I guess you have to be near that particular person. You cannot just, you know, use a bite function. Yeah, same thing. Bite yourself. So yeah, this is combat. This is view, and you can see the New York, sorry. Yeah, so you can see the Wall Street with big Trinity Church Cemetery. Interesting. This is Trans-Technicals. Yeah, I've taken over. I don't know what this particular area is in New York, but maybe I just play and then just go along with the game. I don't know, maybe I just do that. And here's Ransom, and he has made it to Tackett laboratory, it seems. Right, so using the mouse and pressing down the left button, you'll be able to just travel around the surroundings and walk around it. Yeah, and then really this has like adventure game aspirations, and this gameplay turned into, you know, I think this is based out of those old, I don't know what other adventure games Microprose has released, but I think it definitely shares a lot of similarities. Ransom doesn't have to even walk to this point or area to pick up the object here. And he can just drop it, yeah, near him. I mean, he can just pick up these items anywhere on the screen, but he can only drop it near him. No, I think you can drop anywhere you prefer. Yeah, you can throw it, I think. Yeah, I guess this means that he can throw it across the room or this table. You can put this thing in the giant chair here that Tackett used to sit. Maybe she was a giant, becomes a very tall person. Can, yeah, okay, so this is the main game screen. I don't know how big it is, but, and if you press, yeah, not press, but with your mouse up, then here is that big interface that people have problems with. Now this green bar is, I think, his humanity. So as you can see, this is getting a bit of a frayed effect going on. So I think this is going to turn red as the time runs out. And the time runs out, I think, whenever you leave the screen of a place to pray, as you mumble a few. And this is 12:01 AM. Time doesn't seem to flow while you're trying to explore within the screen itself. Now this option is combat. So you can do quick, which allows you to just let the combat finish by itself using the RNG. And descriptive, I guess, is allows you to descriptive. What are you going to do? Fight yourself? Descriptive is where you can enter combat, then control the characters yourself, and it's a turn-based combat. View and bite. You have to go into combat to be able to bite someone, and I guess you have to be near that particular person. You cannot just, you know, use a bite function. Yeah, same thing. Bite yourself. So yeah, this is combat. This is view, and you can see the New York. Sorry. Yeah, so you can see the Wall Street with right view. Big Trinity Church Cemetery. Interesting. This is Trans-Technicals. Yeah, I've taken over. I don't know what this particular area is in New York, but yeah, has definitely taken over here with a big, I don't know, generator or something going on. It's going to be what Google is going to be like in 50 years. Cafe Voltaire and Houston Matrix over some of these areas. Stark has to travel sometime. Yeah, so this is pretty big map, as you can see. Whole Manhattan. Yeah, look at that. And wow, what is this? Where is Central Park? You see the building in the horizon, and this has turned into Los Angeles as depicted in Blade Runner. Alright, so let's go back. Yeah, so you can search the area for hidden object. I guess that's where the observation skill comes in. Examine, you can examine some of these things. You need to pick it up first and then go into the option with the mouse cursor now turn into the object and then use examine. This is called dermal filament. Extremely thin, skin-like circuitry lining designed to interface circuitry with the human body. Cybergarb component. So this is where the jury rig skill comes in. Yeah, Stark can store this in an inventory. I don't know how big it is. So yeah, let's just bring everything in. You to be able to find all the objects here. And some of these options also allows you to give you a description of what this location is. The broken down furniture and scattered tools and components are bitter indications of Deirdre Tackett's fate. So I guess she was kidnapped. You wonder if it's appropriate for the vampire to pray as he mumbles a few words of hope that Davy still lives. You notice that the computer with the cyberspace port still functions. That means that he can deck into the net and explore the cyberspace. Yeah, so let's get all this stuff. I think, this being an adventure game allows you to combine different items, and most likely you have to get all the stuff that you see on the screen just in case. Yeah, at least the inventory doesn't seem to be limited. Yeah, so we have done a quick overview of the view function. And let's see what this is. Party. Okay, so party is where you get followers you can either rest to gain health back or dismiss them. And this game, I think if the party member is dismissed, depending on what kind of relationship you had with the character, those characters can just disappear. Or I heard that they can even fight you, go into combat phase. And this is where you can enter cyberspace and also examine your decking unit, which allows you to improve your cyberspace experience. Soulbox is your representation in the cyberspace. So this is whether entry level soulbox. So if it gets higher up, and I think there are like 4 levels or something, it's less likely that you'll be detected by the security or something, or you have more or hit points or something where you're in cyberspace if there is to be a battle or something. But I don't think there is any combat in cyberspace. Memory is the amount of things that you can get or download from cyberspace. So 1 terabyte seems to be pretty large. Well, I mean, this is set in 2094, so I guess this is rather small. I wonder how large of a chip, like micro SD chip, that they have available right now. I think the biggest one is like 500 gigs or something. Cloak, yeah, as you can see, the cloak is how well you can remain hidden from the security. So I have level 2 cloak, pretty cool. Maybe if I maybe this is due to me answering some questions about Ransom Stark's hacking prowess. Maybe if I answered it differently, it would be level 1 or something. Looker, I'm not so sure what Looker chip is. Yeah, I need to go back to manual, and Essence too. I'm not so sure what it is. And you can also examine, same thing, you can examine this soul box. Yeah, basic soul box chip. Oh, okay, so maybe I can see what this Looker is all about. A cyberspace navigation chip, an essential component for all decking units. Okay, so this is essential. Memory, cloak, essence, I don't know what essence is. Alright, okay, so let's get back out. And let's examine one more aspect of this interface. And this is where inventory comes in. Yeah, so if you move your mouse cursor to lower left and then click right mouse button, you can go into inventory. And if you have more party members, they have more pictures, so you can choose among the party members. So let's go into inventory. And you have all these things that we picked up, including a 4 terabyte memory chip, which I think goes into the decking unit. So you gotta know what inventory items can go into decking unit. And this normal, okay, maybe I should change. What's the difference? Kevlar vest and cloak, coveralls. Maybe this is more protective. Yeah, they don't really tell you exactly what, damage this weapons or what, protection this does over this. There's no comparison or anything like that. No numbers. Initial sensors, I wonder what this is. You can examine it right there. Yeah, so this seems to be a component for jury rigging, and if you press jury rig right here and assemble, it just tells you whether you have components that you'll be able to do anything with. Alright, so you're back. And there's a shotgun, power cells, I think, which is ammo for the laser pistol. Okay, I think we checked. Let's check this. Virtually unbreakable plastic casing. Okay, so this is what? Decking unit case. So I think what you have to do if you want to, try this for your decking unit, you have to drop first. And then here you can see the dropped item, and then you have to move your... Yeah, this is rather unintuitive. But you gotta do this and then go into decking unit and see if it goes anywhere here. No, doesn't seem like it. Yeah, so this is different. Yeah, alright, so let's go back. Yeah. It's all mouse driven. I'm sure that there's some hotkeys too. I haven't really mastered that yet. Thermal filament, yeah, we've looked at that before. Neural implant plans, just a plan. Inertia sensors, I don't know. I'm sure that we can definitely put this into your decking unit. So let's do that. Upgrade it to 4 terabyte instead of 1 terabyte. And you cannot put anything here back into the inventory related to decking unit. So you have to drop this. I'm sure there is a better way to do this. Please tell me. This is how I was able to figure out the game after playing for around half an hour or an hour. Oh, I didn't notice this. Your next, Stark, with the cute little skull drawn in blood, it seems. And Stark obviously is a really small man. Yeah, look at all this. Cinder Block is like even bigger than him. Interesting. I mean, these characters should be, I think, twice as tall to make sense of all these surrounding items. But alright, so only thing left to do is to go into cyberspace. Okay. But let's check this computer first. Dialogue replay. So this allows you to go back and review the dialogues that you've done with other characters. Speaking of dialogues, there are some things I want to also mention. You've heard characters speak in the introduction, and I wonder how you feel about their performance or the quality of the voices. For me, I find them, I think it's part of the charm. I think it's part of the experience of playing this game. It kind of reminds me of those 1960s or 70s radio plays where they have all these dramatic pauses and tones in their voices to try to kind of give you kind of make you see things by hearing it. Like they try to accentuate some of the things that go on around him, like Ransom was saying how he has fangs and his flesh and everything. He was describing it instead of letting you look visually what had happened to him. So kind of reminds me of those radio plays where they had to do everything in their voices to convey almost everything, every emotion, the state of mind, for example, and what they're looking, every reaction that they feel or they might consider important for the story, they just voiced it out. And I do feel that is part of the charm. The problem is the dialogue, the subtitle is not available in this game. So if I turn the dialogue voice off, then I think the subtitle or the text comes out, but you cannot have both, unfortunately. So you have to decide whether you want to see the text or hear the voice. And I hope the voice is actually understandable to the international viewers. But if they are rather hard to understand, I need to turn off the voices and maybe, I think, not voices, but sound effects, or does it say sound? Yeah, turn sound off. I think it does turn off everything though, which is problematic because you'll not be able to hear the combat sounds then. Yeah, music, if I turn it off, then you'll be faced with silence. I mean, some music is pretty nice. I mean, I didn't really mind the music here. It's kind of more atmospheric and eerie. But then the introduction music, oh my goodness. I guess it's supposed to be exciting, but wow, that was pretty, it was something. Yeah. So contact tells you all the information about the characters that you're going to meet. And it seems like Ransom Stark was a rather popular man. Get all this. Yeah. So we are at Washington Square, apparently. Yeah. So all these characters, Lash Givens. Yeah, we gotta check all this. Monique St. Pierre. Sorry. Yeah, I may stop going there if I keep running into Monique. So, Monique St. Clair is an ex-lover of Ransom Stark. Ex-lovers and dark bars don't mix. Central Park. Something bad is happening in the Great Lawn Shack town at East 86th Street. People are turning up dead with their throats torn open, so they just end up dead most cases. Yeah, so there's a lot of information to begin with. Yeah, look at that. All this information. Maybe I should read all this before coming back, but I'm not so sure. Maybe it's part of discovery. But I think this really gives you an idea where you should end up next. This is the first thing that popped up. Maybe I should go to meet these guys. Make a note to tell Penn Martinez to tighten up his security. He and his cyberspace users group, the Houston Matrix Rovers, have a series of illegal wells in the net. I stumbled upon one on a recent deck. If I can find it, Transtech sure can. Penn's a friend, and I want to see security swarming over their Canal Street meeting room. Yeah, maybe I should visit Houston Matrix Rovers. And Flux Riders. Hey, he's old gang, so yeah, I mean, Flux Riders definitely is next. I mean, more than Houston Rovers, I think Ransom Stark should be going here to meet the Riders and see if he can get any help. There's very little thing to go by in terms of quest. I don't really know exactly what Ransom should be doing. And wow, he's rich. 101,000 virtual dollars. Bitcoins. Yeah, he's pretty rich. My goodness. And should I enter the cyberspace or leave that to the next episode? Yeah, I mean, it has already been around 1 hour, so I think I should leave this for next episode. As far as characters concerned, I'm rather disappointed. What I ended up with, answering the questionnaire truthfully. I could have just, answered, wow, for bloodlust, what happened to you? Yeah, so this is the bloodlust where you have to satiate or keep it low by biting other people. And that's going to be a problem because it's already 4%. Maybe because my faith is low or something. But then yeah, I'm kind of disappointed in how the stat ended up. I definitely expected a far better figures here. And combat, I mean, yeah, it kind of sucks too. I mean, he cannot do anything. Look at that. What can he do? What can Stark do? Just random Stark instead of Ransom. I mean, just random numbers just plastered all over. I mean, his stealth is pretty good. I guess that's where all the question answers went into. And agility as well. I guess I gotta think that he's gonna compensate somewhere by trying to dodge the attacks as best as possible. But he can only use blades and little else. I don't know what is going to be the effect, the overall effect, and what kind of options that he is going to have. Because he kind of sucks as a character. Maybe I should do quick generation and see, but let's save first. Yeah, okay. Overwrite this. Okay, good. At least it gives you a prompt, unlike the other games that I played. Let's go to, not quit, but can I start a new game? Oh, okay, you just quit out. Well, thanks for watching, and I hope you are excited as I am about this new LP. I'll come back and see if I can deck into the net and what Ransom's next move is going to be. Thanks for watching once again, and please stay tuned.